Okay, my name is Cindy Marroquia. Um, I'm from El Salvador as well as all my kids. Came to this country about 5 years ago. Used to be a teacher for Adventist schools in my country. I taught for like around 8 years. Then I became a Dell technician for computers and worked for the call center industry for about 10 years. Then we decided to come to this country. And me and, well, my two girls and my boy. I think all of us in this church, as well as any other family, we're fighting different battles. And I respect everybody's as an individual's battle. We come to church sometimes with a heart that's maybe broken, and we kind of like, it's easy to smile once in the week, right? But only we know how we are being tested. And we had little Cindy, who was born with heart murmur as well as mosaic syndrome, Down syndrome too. And they come with different, they're like a surprise boxes. They can have, sometimes they have problems with the thyroid, sometimes they have problems with their hearts, with the language, walking, the movement. So when things like that happen, you kind of start asking, why God? Why me? But then walking with God makes you change the question or the perspective and tell us. Then you ask yourself, why not me? If we accept so many good things from God, obviously everybody likes the blessing. We also need to be humble enough to accept God's trials too. And I found out about this church. I was like, okay, now we're ready. Let's go. So we came, and we felt like home. The environment is so welcoming, since the person that's on the front smiling with diaconos, the deacons, with their smiles too. And the way they treat you, they make you feel so welcome. So we came and we stayed. And we enjoyed the service. My kids like it. She likes it too. So we said, okay, so if they feel comfortable and I feel comfortable, so that's why you guys see us here coming the Sabbaths. But it was one Sabbath particularly that I was overwhelmed, that I didn't know what to do, or how Cindy had to have a surgery. And because of her heart murmur, we wouldn't be able to process, because nobody wanted to even do a tooth filling because of that. So I didn't know what to do, where to go. And they told me that she needed a special treatment, and we needed that. And then I didn't have no Medicaid or no medical insurance, so I didn't even know how I was going to do it. I just knew I had to do it. So on one of the prayer requests that the Pastor Rodriguez was doing, because he was here, she stood up and she came to the front and she requested a prayer. In her heart, it was for her surgery, right? And then it touched me seeing my daughter. I didn't stop her, because she has to develop her own faith, right? So she came to the front, and Pastor Rodriguez prayed for her. For the ones that came up that day for the call. But after church, Sinoe met us at the hall. And he came up to little Cindy and he asked her, what do you want us to pray for? And she's like, well, I'm having a surgery. See, nobody in this church knew it. Only us as a family. And she said, and I need a prayer. So he said, okay, let me get some elders and we're going to pray for Cindy. Is it okay? I was like, yes, please. So we went to the potluck, spent some time with the members, and then the afternoon came, and we came here again. We met at the church, and Brother Sinoe came and he said, like, we're ready. But when he said we're ready, I thought for some reason it was going to be just another elder and him. But when he took me to the special room, and he opened the door, and then I just saw all the elders and the 2 pastors, and I felt so good not being alone, because I really, really needed those prayers. I started crying because I knew right then that I wasn't going to do this on my own. But I had people that cared, that wanted to listen, and that they wanted to pray. Sometimes we all just need, it's just a prayer. Because maybe they were not able to know everything or every detail, but they all knew that we really needed those prayers. And only God could fulfill all of those needs. So when I came out of that room, and I got up, because we were kneeling down. When we were sitting down, right, Cindy? Yeah. You were kneeling down. The elders were kneeling down. I knew everything was going to be okay.
I thank God that He is helping me the surgery I have, and I want to keep praying too. I feel happy that about the pastoral prayer. Thank you for all the prayers that are praying for me.
We're not alone. We're family. And maybe there are things that we cannot do for one another. But praying is powerful. And we thank you from the bottom of our heart for every single prayer that you made, because they were answered. Her surgery went fine. Her treatment is doing fine. And I know what God starts good, He ends up really good. So thank you very much, church.
Wasn't that a nice testimony that you just heard? So can you imagine how many lives, how many people would be impacted if Houston Central wasn't here? And so that's why we are encouraging everyone to continue to support the church, because every ministry is supported through your contributions, your regular contributions, and we can continue to be a blessing not only to our members, but to our visitors and our members' families who may not be Adventists, and people in the community.
Quick question. Where should you direct your tithe if you're frustrated with your church? Martha was struggling with this same question while disagreeing with her church on many issues. If you, like Martha, are not sure about what to do with your tithe when situations like these occur, come back in time with me to hear what King David has to say about it. The psalmist once said, "Offer to God thanksgiving and pay your vows to the Most High." Psalms 50, verse 14. He also says, "I will go into your house with burnt offerings. I will pay you my vows." Psalm 66, verse 13. Okay, so when David states, "Pay your vows to the Most High," he is making it very clear that this is something between you and God. It's an act of worship, so your tithe should never be used as a method of evaluation for your church's performance. In the second verse, when David says, "I will go into your house with burnt offerings," he is showing the specific place where our tithe should go, to the storehouse, which we already learned about in Deuteronomy 12, 2 Chronicles 31, Nehemiah 10, 12 and 13, and Malachi 3, verses 8 through 10. In the Seventh-day Adventist Church, your local church is an outpost of the storehouse, which is the conference. And God is the one who determines how the tithe should be used, so it's equally distributed to support the authorized gospel ministry around the world. As you return your tithe, ask the Lord to protect you from the manipulation of human feelings and to give you the right motivation as you participate in this act of worship. May we put our desires last and God first.